As we start. So Avengers Endgame anyway. The video's recording now, Car. So
Right, are you going to be all right? You don't need like a box of tissues before we start talking about Endgame or anything. You know, you're not going to break down on me.
no, well, nobody in our group started crying, but can't be said for the people that sat behind us. I was mental. There you go.
And the Topher sound effects. So what the hell are you doing back there? Do you want to know?
Yeah, it was like the entire ending of the film. Somebody was just wanking off behind us and going, oh, like that. It's like, seriously, even Moody had to tell him to shut up as well. It's like, we're all fans of this franchise, but not like that, you know?
It's like at that point, that isn't about you being emotional. That's about you wanting everybody else to know how emotional you are. And it's like, look, dude, that's really fucking, well, just like dodgy. Like, it's like other people have paid to see this film. We don't need to like have your fucking grandstanding.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so this video is going to be, are we going to do spoilers in this? We might as well, because
I think you've already done a basic non-spoiler one, haven't you?
Yeah, I might as well just get into it. So we're not going to be like saying this is what happens from start to finish, but we are occasionally going to drop some bombshells if you haven't seen the film. So if that bothers you, turn off now.
Mm-hmm.
So this is pretty much more your video. So what were you thinking?
I really enjoyed it. Like I was saying to you, just gave me that feeling like a big event comic that they used to do. Kind of, some of them you've got like that Marvel versus DC thing. Just where you have like loads of characters, kind of like Crisis on Infinite Earths or something like that, where you've just got like a shit ton of characters. Everybody gets to do something, and there's just all these like fantastic like scenes of like shit. Everybody's here and everybody's like doing something. Like if this was a comic book, you'd like turn it on its side and like you'd be able to see everybody like doing stuff right across. It's really had that feeling for me, and I like pretty dug it.
And you'd have a splash page where there's all the women in one corner just miraculously, and then all the men on the other side, because that's how the battlefield works, isn't it? You know.
I mean, that was cringy, but it's at the same time, it's like, well, 90% of these films tend to be like fan service for us. So
yeah,
it's one of those things I was trying like just take a step back and like, right, would this piss me off like 2-3 years ago before I got clued into a lot of this like bullshit? And if I didn't know stuff I know about like Brie Larson's like general cuntishness, it's like, would this actually bother me? And usually it's like, well, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, she appears to be a bit of a dick, but then again, a lot of actors can be dicks. Like, this is not new.
Yeah, well, there's been some moaning about screen time as well. She only had 15 minutes of screen time. It felt like she had less than that, to be honest. But that can only be a good thing unless she's going to like.
I mean, yeah, she didn't really get a lot of screen time, but at the same time, this isn't really her film. She's only just been introduced. This is about saying goodbye to the original Avengers.
Right,
this is like an end of an era. This is about Captain America and like Iron Man. This isn't about
more about the men, isn't it? More about the men, isn't it? Come on, you've got issues with women. Clearly, that's what it is.
Like, you know what? If you're getting no screen time in the next film, then
Yeah. Interestingly, I don't know if you've heard this, but everything up to pretty much now, and also including Spider-Man: Far From Home, everything up to Phase 3 has been kind of redubbed the Infinity Saga. So you might end up getting like a box set with the first 23 films that is the Infinity Saga, and then after that, whatever they're going to do.
I mean, I'd definitely say this does feel like a contained arc. It feels like at the end, especially when they've got like images of the various like heroes and like the actors like signing the name to it kind of thing. Yeah. It did feel very much like, this was the end of one era and kind of the beginning of something new.
Yeah. Like Star Trek 6. The end of Star Trek 6, where it's basically farewell. Granted, a lot of them did come back for odd appearances, but that was it. It was like the 25th anniversary of Star Trek. It was the 6th film, and it ends with like their signatures and stuff, doesn't it?
I'd say that's also a pretty good comparison, because this isn't like super dark. It's like, not, oh shit, everybody's dead, A lot of the characters do get happy endings of some sort, or at least get some kind of closure. So it is a bit like the end of like Star Trek, where it's like, right, well, second star to the right and straight on till morning. It's like it's over, but we're still all right. We're still like having our adventures, kind of thing.
Well, speaking of happy endings, I think the guy sat behind us in the cinema was having a happy end.
No,
He wasn't tough, was it? Sat behind us. When he salt
like I say,
corrosion.
it's just when you're going on like that. That's not about like you having emotions. That's about you grandstanding to everybody.
Yeah,
That's like the dickhead that comes like dressed up in like cosplay and being really loud and obnoxious during the film. That's not
yeah.
about you enjoying the film. That's about you showing everybody how much you enjoy the film. It's
You don't
like,
really
dude,
come to
just want to see
expect.
the film.
I mean, living in the UK, you don't really come to expect this. But you notice if you're watching anything in America, and it's usually like Comic Con
Yeah.
events and like trailer footage or something, it's leaked, and you can hear people going like, "Whoa!" like that, like grown men doing that, and it's just like
Oh,
seriously
you
shut.
see like these like reaction things from horror movies, and everybody's like, "Oh!" It's like,
Yeah,
look, I
they
jump
don't get
like a
the need. Yeah,
motherfucker. Like, it does not take much to make me jump out of my fucking skin. But even I'm not going, "Oh!"
yeah,
Oh, like every like 5 seconds is like a music skating.
yeah. But so that's just
You will hear you doing a Muttley laugh every time I like freak out and do it like a jump, like, oh, like that's about as distracting as it gets.
well, back to the film anyway.
Yes.
So obviously there's no post-credit scenes or anything, even mid-credit scenes. But to me that made sense because it would have taken away the sort of finality of the last scene of the film. You know.
Yeah. Certainly, yeah. 'Cause, I mean, like I said, to get an idea into the like this is the end of one thing, one arc, if you like. They don't really need to set up the next film as such. I mean, there's going to be more films, but it's not like, and next time we're going to have this film, like this is how the story's going to continue. This is like one arc of the story. I'd
Mm,
expect the post credits to be returning when you start, with the new slate of films.
yeah. There's nothing really to kind of foreshadow at the moment, and I think there's going to be a bit of a gap anyway, a bit of a breather between Spider-Man Far From Home and whatever comes next because we haven't had any
Yeah.
announcements.
I mean, I'd
Uh,
say the franchise does need it because this does feel like a conclusion, not like, oh, this is all over for now, but like, yeah, we're ready for a little bit of a break. That was like fucking massive. There's
yeah.
nowhere up you can go from this, so it's better to just leave it a little while, give people a chance to, kind of get hyped again for the next thing.
Yeah, like I say, I mean, it depends where they go with it, what the direction is. I just hope to God that they don't go down the same route that the comics did with the SJW thing. I know we keep mentioning that, but it does seem like there's a big
I
concern.
really doubt it because it's not worked for Marvel. Like it's
Mm,
what's keeping Marvel afloat at the moment is the film like division.
yeah,
I mean, so far, yeah, kind of playing to that kind of worked for them with like Black Panther, but ultimately it kind of backfired on them a bit with the Brie Larson thing. She has just kind of pissed people off,
yeah.
and you get the impression she's not massively popular amongst her like colleagues either.
Yeah. I mean, I hope it isn't the direction you go down. I mean, the actual Captain Marvel film itself didn't feel particularly that way at all. It's the behind the scenes stuff. So hopefully that's where it's limited to that. We'll see with Star Wars when that comes out because I think the Last Jedi maybe had a little bit more to it that would piss you off than any of the Marvel films have ever done.
Yeah,
Even though not too bad. But we'll see if they double down for the next one or whether or not they just basically, bring it back a little bit. Don't have sort of purple haired gender studies professors like Holdo, that kind of character in it. We'll see how Disney treat that franchise. That might indicate how they're going to treat the Marvel one going forward.
oh yeah, I can only see.
Um,
Yeah, this was great. I mean, I was amazed at how many people they actually got back for like cameos and stuff,
mm,
like Thor's mum and
yeah,
very some of these bit characters that I thought, oh well, you're not really going to see them. You're not going to see like the original like Wasp and stuff. It's like nope, nope, they've got her in as well, even if it's just one scene, like standing around to like with her husband and stuff to
oh, Michelle
honor.
Pfeiffer, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like I don't know when they filmed this, like but they obviously did go to the trouble of getting this person back. Like I said, I was pretty impressed by that kind of thing.
It was a nice little revisit to all the previous films as well. It wasn't just like a callback to the previous films. They actually go back to some of the sort of memorable like times. If in the franchise, you've got like Thor: The Dark World, which was like one of the less popular ones, but whatever. You've got obviously the original
It
Avengers
did
film.
work really well that, like, yeah, Thor's really fucked up, and ultimately he kind of needs his mum to talk some sense into him and
Yeah,
tell him, like, look, son, you need to kind of sort your stuff out, be your own person. And that
yeah.
kind of really worked, I think, that scene.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these things did as well. Like you were saying when we came out, there were characters in this that we had no clue because we hadn't sort of looked into it too much, and that's a good thing. We didn't know that they were in like Tilda Swinton's the Ancient One that was in it.
Yeah, like I
Uh,
say, I was surprised. I was like, oh shit, you got that actually makes a lot of sense because, of course, it wouldn't be Stephen Strange at this point.
yeah, so that was quite interesting as well because I remember obviously in the Winter Soldier there's a reference to Stephen Strange, and obviously that was from Agent Sitwell when he was saying anyone who's a threat to Hydra, Bruce Banner, Stephen Strange, and at that time Stephen Strange was just like some random like surgeon. But obviously, the point of Hydra was they could foreknow like who was going to be a threat to them in the future. That was kind of the point.
I mean, maybe they
Um,
even had people like slipping them information from the wizards. I mean, Hydra has been like mixed up in like all kinds of shit.
That's where I was going exactly. Yeah. So it's just good just to see things from a different angle. It was a bit like Back to the Future too, where not only do you sort of go back to see things again from a previous film, you see it from a different angle, and also you get to see sort of what happens next after. Previously, when you saw this scene and it cut away, you then get to see what happened exactly afterwards. Like the bit where Loki's on the floor in the end of Avengers, and they're all sort of stood around him after they've beaten him, and he says, "You know what? I think I'll have that drink now." And then he
Yeah,
puts away, and then it's like, "Right, pick him up," which is pretty much what it would be. So I like that. That was something that they did quite a bit in the film, anyway. Like I say, giving us a different angle on things.
yeah, like just going back to now they know like what's going on with Shield and Hydra, and they kind of use that to their advantage.
Yeah,
When
with
they're
Hail
dealing with
Hydra.
people who they now know are Hydra, and it's like, oh shit, you can tell Cap's like pissed, and he's like, I know who you are, what you do, kind of thing. But he can't really do anything about it. You think, oh
Yeah,
god, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna like fuck up and do something he shouldn't? And then he just uses it to his advantage and like just whispers in his ear like "Hail Hydra," so they think he's on their side and give him what he wants. It's
yeah,
like that is like genuinely intelligent. Like hats off to you.
yeah. And then when he fights himself as well, and he says, "I can do this all day," he's like, "Yeah, I know," because he thinks he's Loki and so on. Yeah, Loki could totally come back. Obviously, it would be Loki as per none of the lessons learned from the Dark World onwards, Thor: The Dark World onwards, because it'll be Thor. Sorry, Loki as he was at the end of Avengers, because he's taken a Tesseract and
Well, I
fucked off
mean,
some.
maybe.
I think that's where they'll go because they're keeping Thor in the franchise. Obviously, I mean, he literally goes off with the Guardians of the Galaxy to be a part of their next adventure or whatever. He says at one point as Guardian of the Galaxy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty
I
sure
mean,
that's
like I say, we can't rule out the possibility though that like, oh well, how does this like happen? Why doesn't this break anything? It could just literally be the Avengers like chased him down the alleyway, beat the living shit out of him, and got the Tesseract back. And you just didn't see that. That would almost be like a deleted scene in the first one, if you like.
it just seemed a little bit too left open to me. And given that Loki's a massive fan favorite and they've lost like
Mm.
Iron, they've lost Black Widow, I think they're going to want to keep what they can from the originals. And I can totally picture him coming back for like a Guardians film or something.
Then again, they've also opened up the possibility of alternate worlds because that's the whole like thing they do with time travel. Like there's, um,
Yes.
if you change something, you won't change your reality. You'll create a new one, which is why like the ancient one won't just give them the time
Yeah,
thing. It's like, well, that'll help your universe a lot, but it's going to absolutely doom mine if we don't have this.
yeah. I mean, that was the point as to why Steve Rogers had to take everything back so that
Yeah,
wouldn't get that. But still, Loki's taken the Tesseract to well, to one degree anyway.
yeah, but obviously he hasn't, kept it because ultimately it's back for whatever happens. Is why I'm meaning like maybe they just mug him off camera and get it back.
Yeah.
Like the original Avengers from the actual film rather than, the future Avengers.
Yeah.
But no, what I'm thinking is another way they could do it is they've kind of basically when Thanos went back in time, he's essentially created a new branch universe in which he never existed. Like he never started his Infinity Quest. He never went off to do all this stuff because he went into the future and got clicked into oblivion by Tony Stark. So there's now like one alternate universe that never had a Thanos. So you could do like, oh, well, this is the Loki from that alternate universe. He never got killed by Thanos because Thanos has already disappeared by that point.
Yeah.
The same with like, if they wanted to bring anybody back, like theoretically, like, well, they could come from the universe in which there never was a Thanos.
This is what always happened in the time travel movies. It was like Back to the Future 2, where they were saying like, we can't do this because it'll create a paradox. It's like, well, hang on a minute, you've like created about like 40 already,
I do like this on the like, look, are you basing everything on 2 films? Like, that's not hard science, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Back to the
telling
Future.
me like Back to the Future lied to us, like son of a bitch.
Yeah, that was good. So yeah, well, we're gonna have to leave it there now because the video's getting on a bit now. So
yeah, great
overall,
film. Like I really liked all of it.
mm,
Definitely worth your time. Just please don't be an annoying knob and start making weird fucking noises in the middle of the film. Have some consideration for other people, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I was just saying to John earlier. I think objectively, not like saying my favourite film, but saying which is the best made film in this franchise, I'd have to say it's this. I'm not saying it's my favourite. It'd be easy to say my favourite, being still kind of under the bus from it all. It probably, I think to a certain degree, what I would say is my favourite like MCU film. It's not even just one film. It's just so many of them are parallel. Like Winter Soldier is probably up till now, I would have said was the best made film. It was also my favourite. But then I think, well, what about Iron Man? What about Avengers Assemble? What about Civil War? So I think there's just basically a standard, and this totally.
I must say, like people can like look back on, say, Age of Ultron and be like, it was one of the weaker ones, and you can't really like, I don't really agree necessarily, but I can kind of see where you're coming from. This definitely doesn't feel like a step down from like the original Avengers Assemble or anything, or Infinity War. This feels like they kind of stepped it up, which
absolutely.
Also, I think why they need to give it a little bit of a break, because coming into anything else off this will be incredibly difficult. Spider-Man kind of gets a bit of wiggle room because it's kind of its own thing. So,
yeah. Well, most of these films now are available in 4K because I've got like on here collection, and pretty much from Iron Man onwards, depending which ones you get, those imported. I think the ones you can't get on 4K, the original Thor, the Dark World, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Ant-Man. I think they're the only 4 that you can't get in 4K on Blu-ray.
Well, like you say, maybe they'll like release an entire like massive box set of all of them. Yeah,
at some point, yeah. So we'll see how that plays out. Anyway, we've kind of gone a bit too long on the video on this one, so we can do follow-up videos. If there's anything specific you want to talk about, we can do a follow-up video. It's like
if anybody has any specific questions, they can always fire them off to us.
Yeah, that's no worries. All right, well, cheers for that, and I'll stop recording, and we will see you next time.